It's all falling apart for sure. If you can't see it by now, you might need to pull your head out of the sand. Can I get a 5x5 before we continue with this huge live stream live this Friday, live this Friday across the globe, 8 p.m. UK time. Time Lord again, 5x5 on it as ever. So whilst we are waiting for the live stream to sort of warm up, to get some people in the house, I've pinned a comment in the chat. You need to subscribe if you want to comment. You don't have to subscribe and wait 20 minutes. You can subscribe straight away and comment. We do this now, lots of us now, because it does avoid bots and trolls, because we have been seeing an increase in that sort of activity. We might go into a bit of that in this live stream about being censorship and mis and disinformation, etc. These are all ploys. So we are evolving with this current situation and safeguarding ourselves to protect our community. This isn't no bullshit terms and conditions. This is what lots of us creators are figuring out on the fly, and this is absolutely working. So cool. Right, yes. So as I say, we're waiting for people to come in. Thanks for the 5x5, everyone. Really appreciate that. So that's good that everyone can see and hear me. We have, in 28 days, 5,831 new subscribers. Wow. What's happened? It does appear that this shadow ban, which I've been under for over 1 year now, has been lifted. One of my live streams recently is not far away from 400,000 views. Something's happened. It's very, very odd. Also, alongside that, I noticed Pilgrim especially. Hey, bro, I hope you're okay. When I was using some bad language in the live stream last night. Now, I had to check it out. What's happened, or what's happening in YouTube, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there does seem to be the feet have been taken off the gas a little bit. So it feels like it's not just me saying that, it's a few of my colleagues who do YouTube videos, Neil McCoy Ward, loads of others. We're all noticing the same thing. It's like we've been given a new lease of freedom. So in that is swearing. Now, from what I understand, looking at the terms and conditions that YouTube are doing and what people are doing and getting away with or whatever, you can pretty much say anything you want, and so can I, as long as we don't use the F word and the C word. All right. I'm pretty sure you know what the F word and the C word is. So you can use anything else and it seems to be fine. So just a bit of a heads up for the moderators. I don't usually use profanities, but I find that since this censorship thing that's been lifted from YouTube, maybe it's temporary, maybe, I don't know. At the moment, it seems to be, wow, we can say and do what we want. It's very strange, especially if you've been in the sin bin like me for about over a year. It's been 13 or 14 months now. So it's very, very odd. So yes, yes, so I will swear now and again. It's usually to accentuate points which I feel passionate about. And I feel it's wrong to suppress those passionate thoughts. I really do. So if I'm going to freaking swear like shit, I will. All I'm saying is moderators, don't worry about people in the chat. If they want to swear, great. But don't use the F word and don't use the C word. If you do, you can use asterisks so it doesn't come up as the full word. That's pretty much all that is. So yeah, it's really weird. So all of this, nearly 6,000 new subscribers. And also we've got 7 new members as well. Members are joining the community like all of the time. It's crazy. I am currently building a big bank. I've got about 10 videos for members only, which is going to be another tier on this YouTube channel. And I can't say how long it's going to be, but I've done the bulk of it. It takes a lot of time to edit every single video. It's got to have a thumbnail. Everything's got to be done. And there's 10 of them. So, you know, you're talking about like half hour, 45 minutes work times 10. So I've got to find that time somewhere. And also, you know, you your 6,000 new subscribers. If you don't know, this is my main job. So I don't like go to work I used to. This seemed to have taken over. It's taken off, and I'm running with it, and I'm doing what I feel I need to do. I'm following my heart. I'm getting the message out there. I'm trying to do my best to sort of wake up, encourage, and inspire as many people as I possibly can as we navigate through these ridiculous changes. This is seriously rich historic times that we're in right now. Wow, 900 people already? Nuts, in 6 minutes. You guys are awesome. So if you can read the message scrolling across the screen, I really urge you guys to share these videos, because the more people get to see these videos, the more people have a fighting chance to try and figure out what to do, because the community in here right now in the live chat is amazing. And we've got some really good moderators. So if you want to come in here and take the piss, then the moderators won't stand for it. They'll just block it. I don't care. All we need to do is we need to try and remember to be respectful. Yes, we all have differences of opinion, and that's how it should be. I prefer democracy. I don't want to live in China. So you are free to say what you want. Just be respectful, okay? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Don't be a jerk. Be nice, and you'll be treated nice back. Like I said, the moderators, they won't stand for it, especially Cornish Bob. He'll kick your ass. Right, Bob. So, yes. Also, there is links underneath this video. I urge you to check them as and when you get a chance. There's all sorts of information there. If you want to support and help the channel, you can absolutely do so. All of that info is underneath the video. And of course, all of the regular super chat, super stickers, etc., and super thanks is all available, and it really does make a difference. Also, there is a link under this video, and I'm going to be doing a sponsored walk this month, yes, in March 2024, to raise money for veterans here in the UK who have got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Personally, I have a friend who's being treated, and I'm trying to raise money for combat stress. And because I've hit a milestone, because you guys have been awesome supporting that charity, they sent me a t-shirt, which I'm going to be wearing on the sponsored march. I'm doing it all by myself with kit across the mountains in mid Wales. And I'm not going to do 10 miles. I'm going to do an extra one just because I want to. 11 miles. So if I do that under 4 hours, I'll be chuffed. And it's going to be up and down the mountains. So it's not going to be walking along the beach seafront. So you guys, thank you so much who have supported me so far. The donation things for that charity event is still open. So if you want to donate, cool. You can donate £1 if you want to. You don't have to go crazy. Whatever you can, it helps. Because when you think about it, veterans, they need our help. Because I'll tell you this much, the government ain't helping them. That's a fact, Jack. So it's down to us. So if you can, chuck £1 in there. It all helps out. If everyone done £1, awesome. My goal is £1,000. I've got over £400 already. You guys rock. So that's that. An update on the merch. It's been washed. It seems to be okay. It doesn't seem to have shrunk. So it looks like it could be good. So I know some of you guys have been asking for merch, etc. And we've got these really cool ceramic mugs as well. They are going to be available, and they're going to be linked underneath my YouTube channel. Because this website's taken far too long, I'm just going to give them to you guys on YouTube. So give me a couple of weeks and I'll get that tied up, and the merch will be on. So let me see. Wow, 1,056 people. You guys rock. Unbelievable. So why don't we try and find out real briefly, where are you guys watching from? It's really, really interesting because I've had a huge uptake in American subscribers. It's almost like they just weren't there. But lots of Americans are getting to hear what us Brits are going through in the UK. It's nuts. Also, Richard Williams, thank you, dude. We got another new member. I really appreciate that. That's seriously cool thing to do. So what do we got? We got first... wow, we got loads of you guys in here. Somewhere in Texas, Apparently, you guys have got a crazy fire going on right now. I'm waiting to hear updates on that. Engineered to Succeed, hey dude, is up in the Midwest, out in the woods. Yeah, which is awesome. We got someone called Mags up in Glasgow. Well, we got Fun Boss over in Vancouver, British Columbia. Awesome. Very expensive part of the world, apparently. We got John over in Swansea. We got Karen over in Kent. We got Yorkshire Outdoors and Survival in Leeds. Wow, look at that. We got Scott is all over in Brisbane, Australia, mate. Fantastic. Wow, you guys are blowing up. Wow, we have got I can't keep up. We got Janet's Planet from New York. We got Miles over in Birmingham. We got TN Trekker 71 in East Tennessee. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And we got NG Mac up North Scotland. We got Matt is over in Gloucestershire. Awesome. Wow. Honestly, there's so much. I'd love to read them all out. Roblox Gaming over in Hastings. The Absent-Minded Historian. Nice title. In Farnham in Surrey. That's where my mum was born. Awesome. And also we've got the amazing Isabel. Good to see you again over in Landrindod, Wales. In Wales. Get that right. Right, okay. We've got 1-1-1-1. You know me and my numbers. Right. We are going to crack on. So I'm sorry if I didn't read your name out and where you are, because there's just so many. We got over 1,000 already, which didn't take long at all. So yeah, I basically watched, I was put on by my partner, Rachel, and she said about this video that Mr. Neil Oliver done. I was following Neil Oliver, and when he had some sort of collab with that Russell Brand, it sort of put me off, because some of you know my thoughts about Russell Brand. I put him in the same category as Elon Musk. Personally, I don't trust them at all, and I don't really follow what they are saying. But it's not to say that you shouldn't. I'm just telling you that's my feelings, and everyone should go with what they want and don't be coerced or pushed into anything they don't want to be in. So Neil done this video about a storm coming, etc., and he mentioned a few things in there which it made me think, you know what, I've not done a live stream before where we've almost had like a summary since 2020 until now, in as chronologically ordered as I can do. And let me tell you this, it's not easy. It really, really isn't easy. Okay. So yeah, everything's fallen apart around the world. So straight off the bat, I know there's going to be people watching this saying, oh, you're scaremongering, this is fear porn, this is clickbait. Well, I've got a message to any of you watching now who are saying that to themselves. Man up, pull your head out the sand. This shit's going on. And if you don't like it or you think it's scary, it doesn't mean to say it's not happening. This shit is happening, and it's affecting millions and millions and millions of people all around the world. So if it scares you, you think it's BS, just stop watching. If you feel there is a lot of this stuff going on and you're intrigued to understand what's going on, what sort of order it's happened, how is it affecting people, what can we do about it, stick around. You might learn something. It's not being patronizing. We're just trying to share historically what's happened and how it sort of all ties in. So really, we can try and navigate through this to try and make sure that we're not so much a victim as lots of other people seem to be becoming a victim because of all of this stuff. And one of the main reasons why I feel lots of people are becoming victims is because they have put their faith and their trust in government and healthcare. Big mistake. So to me, it's all about part of the awakening process. Once you start to wake up, i.e., you start to look at the world in a different way, you start to question things without blindly accepting whatever you're told by so-called officials. Okay, like I said in previous videos, we have been conditioned this way, so it's to be expected. Some people never wake up. Okay, so please try not to spend so much energy on trying to wake up lots of people. People will be ready when they are going to be ready. Everyone's different. It's important to remember, right? Everyone's different. Everyone has had their own unique, different sets of experiences. Therefore, everyone is unique. Don't judge people by what's happened to you. Okay. So something that might affect you really, really badly, it might not affect someone else because they haven't walked in your shoes. So some people find it easier, some people find it hard. People wake up at all different speeds. Some people could really like be a sheep person and be fully awake within a year. We're talking serious deep diving to get to that. It takes as long as it needs to take. So don't feel bad, or don't feel bad about yourself if you think, my God, I thought I woke up years ago. Well, I don't know hardly anything. It's cool. That's why this community is here to help. Okay. So, like I said in the title, everything's falling apart around the world. And whether you like it, agree with it, or disagree with it, I don't care. That's what's happening. You have to be blind, really, not to see it. It's important that we try and feel what's going on. Do you feel that there's stuff coming down the road? Do you feel that stuff's really changing? Do you see things are really changing? So let me just rewind back to 2020. Yeah, that year. Do you remember? 2020. So we're talking about the scandemic. It was a big scam. Some of my veteran viewers will know that that was a major data gathering exercise, and every country had their own script. They authorized and they actioned and sanctioned and mandated certain things at certain times in certain orders. And what happened? They gathered data from the responses of the citizens of said country. Once all of this data has been gathered, enough for what they needed to crunch. Don't forget, these guys have got quantum computers, machine learning, advanced artificial intelligence, and lots of boffins and unlimited resources. So what do you think's happened to that data? It's been fed into artificial intelligence. That AI is learning at an unbelievably, astonishingly crazy rate. It really is, because you just can't take all of that information into an individual's brain. It's too much. So go back further, life before the internet, life before smartphones. We weren't privy to what was going on around the world. We weren't open to that. The technology wasn't around. And now we have. Now we have information at an instant, anytime, anywhere, all of the time. And it's probably one of the contributing factors which makes a lot of people, including ourselves watching now, feel overwhelmed with the information that's coming in. It's crazy. So that's why it's very important to find time, and you're going to know when you're ready for this, to completely unplug. Get out in nature, go for a walk, chill out. Okay? Because if you carry on absorbing all of this information, it's going to put you in a bad place. You need to unplug. I don't care who you are. I don't care how clever or how rich you are, whatever it is, you are going to need a rest at some point. Don't feel bad. Don't be hard on yourself. You're going to thank yourself for it. When you do, just switch everything off. Don't worry. You're not going to be judged for putting your head in the sand. Whatever it takes, a week, a day, a month, whatever it is, and then come back in, try and catch up and figure out what's going on, but you're going to need a break. It's important. So, scandemic. Total BS. What about all the deaths? Do you remember all of the graphs that we saw in news reports around the world? All of these people are dying, etc. Absolutely fabricated. Don't forget, the governments all around the world use the mainstream media as their main mouthpiece for information outsource, and they do it very effectively. They are highly skilled, highly motivated, and highly financed organizations and individuals that work within the mainstream media. So don't be too hard on yourself. You're going to hear me say that a few times. And it's important to understand that. Don't be so hard on yourself, because we've all been at the mercy of psychopathic people, true experts in the realms of psychology. And if you're not one of those, what chance have you got? What chance have I got? So this is why it's important to have community. We need to discuss how we're feeling, how we're thinking, what we're understanding, how it's affecting certain people. Because if we don't make the time to research, to look, to feel, to understand, to absorb, to mull over, to discuss, to debate, you're just going to be another statistic where you're on drugs, you're playing computer games, and you don't care what's going on. These people one day are going to have a knock on the door. They won't know what's coming. And for them, it's going to be too late. Like I said, there's nothing we can do for everyone. Don't feel bad. Okay. So mass compliance via fear. It absolutely worked like a charm. Don't forget, these people are experts. They're experts in manipulation and psychology. They know how to manipulate the masses. And one thing that they use is fear. The other thing they use is they target emotions. Okay. So if you're female, they're going to be showing loads of images and stuff of kids in pain. They're absolutely going to appeal to predominantly the female side of people. They will literally go, oh my God, that poor kid. Who remembers all of that stuff which was going on in 2020? In my opinion, it was a psyop, a psychological operation. They knew people wake up in 2020. They knew people would start questioning. They already had these organizations ready. Who's heard of Q or QAnon? A complete made up psychological operation. So people would wake up, they would see that, oh my God, this guy's got the answers. Let me just beg and wait on every single word and give us all these clues and we can navigate stuff. One of the news feeds through 2020 and indeed 2021, like I said, they're using fear to manipulate people. Kids in tunnels, remember that? How many women woke up when women were contacting other women? Hey, did you hear what's going on about all of these kids that are being kidnapped and taken down tunnels for satanic rituals and stuff like that? My opinion, it may be go on, but I wouldn't have thought it'd be the rate that it was going on back then. I think it's just a little sidetrack. Okay, that's my own opinion. All right. The thing that really got to me using psychological experiments like they've done in 2020 was the lonely elderly in the care homes who were refused visits from their family. That was sick. When they showed that card, that should have been a huge wake-up call to everyone who was watching at that time in early 2020 that yes, we're at war. They've declared a war, and what they're going to do, they're going to wipe out as many elderly people as they possibly can. If you don't believe me, you think it sounds sensationalized or whatever it is, that's exactly what happened. What better way to do it? Elderly were isolated, they were lonely, they were scared. The stress alone could have tipped them over the edge. Who knows what was put into their IVs to make them drift away? Who knows? The fact is, lots of elderly people were lonely, and basically, without putting a too fine point on it, they were bumped off. They were taken out of the game. Unbelievably, but it was true. It really does set a precedent of how evil this group of whatever is doing. But not only that, what happened in 2020? Families were split up. They were divided, mainly in two fields. So you got one group on the left saying, we believe what the mainstream media is saying and what they're doing. We believe, we trust the experts, we trust the science. We should definitely wear a mask. We should definitely social distance. We should definitely download the NHS app and scan everything we freaking do. We should definitely wash all of our fruits and vegetables, wash our hands ridiculously, and eventually when it's ready, and I can't wait, we should get that thing put inside us to help us as many times as possible. So you got that group. And anyone who didn't want to believe or take part in anything to do with what I just said is the other group. It's a classic divide and conquer technique which has been used pre-Roman Empire times. You heard that term, give them bread and circus? Well, that's exactly how they've managed to pull this off. Yeah, fatten them up, give them junk food, make them ill, and keep them entertained. For God's sake, keep everyone entertained. What we don't want is we don't want people waking up and starting to question things. No, no, no. Get them hooked on frigging Netflix. Get them hooked on Disney, Marvel, whatever it is, all the crap that's coming out of Hollywood. Get them hooked on all of that. Get them hooked on TV. Computer games. Yeah, let's get really addicted to computer games. Let's get their diet so bad that they're so lethargic, tired, ill, not well, reliant on medication, etc. They're too embroiled in their little screen life that they're not even going to think about questioning anything. That's exactly what they want. They want mass amounts of people who are totally compliant, malleable, and literally stuck into a life where they can't see what's really going on and they don't bother, they don't care. That's what they want. They don't want people like us who are asking questions, figuring stuff out, feeling that something's not right. And our eyes and ears are open. We talk to like-minded friends, communities that are forming both online and offline. They are. And if you think there's not that many communities, let me tell you there are. 132,000 people follow this channel. You won't believe the friggin' emails that I get. The stuff which is being told to me is mind-blowing. There are more people out there aware, awake, asking questions, doing stuff behind the scenes. You wouldn't friggin' believe it. You would not believe it. It's insane. And it's not just me. No. We've got others like Neil McCoy Ward, Jeff Buys Cars, Richard Vogues. We've got so many people in the UK who are getting emails as well. And every now and again, we chat together. And the stuff that we're finding out is unbelievable. So what I'm trying to sort of convey to you guys watching now, if you do feel that you're on your own, you're not. You've done the right thing if you're new here by joining this community. It's amazing. And if you're trying to understand what's going on, ask questions. This community is so good. They're not going to judge you. We've got moderators in here. Okay, so if anyone is taking a piss, anyone wants to be Billy Big Bollocks, anyone who thinks their ego is more important than themselves, they won't last long. They'll get shot down. So don't worry about being ridiculed because you won't hear. Moderators, you've got my blessing to literally just get rid of anyone who's being a twat. Because when new people come to the channel and they're asking genuine questions, we should be there to help and advise and encourage and inspire. That's what makes this community great. And like we've got a new member, like Richard is absolutely on point. He's come on board and it's all good in the hood. Let me just remove that off the screen. Right, sorry about that. So yes. Right, we're just checking things are okay. Okay, right. So not only are families being split up by this, you got those who believe in the bullshit and those who don't. It's that simple, okay? But it's not just families, it's in the workplace. How many of you watching right now have had it happen to them? It happened to me. When I used to work full-time, when I was in the rat race, thank God, with your support, I got out of that and I'd done YouTube full-time. And let me tell you this, I felt that I was the only one in that company who had a rough idea what was going on. Everyone else, asleep AF. There was only one other guy, Mark, who was questioning things. All the others, about 30 people, no. Wear a mask, okay. Sit behind that plastic screen, okay. 2 meters apart, don't forget, okay. Go and wash your hands, okay. Have you been poked yet? Yes, yeah. And the booster, yeah, all good. Yeah, mask compliant, asleep people. Now, this is important, okay? As hard as it might be to listen to what I'm about to say, try and remember this when you feel yourself getting angry about these questions, okay? Once upon a time, you was asleep as well, Okay, so try and remember that. It's a bit dare I say, it's a bit egotistical to say, yeah, I'm awake and you're asleep. Look at the sleep idiots, blah blah, ha ha. Well, don't forget you was asleep once. Okay, just try and focus on yourself, learn and plant seeds. Don't literally go up into people's faces, shouting them and saying, did you know what's going on? Are you stupid? Can't you see? I know it's frustrating, but we got to try and be our best people here. We can't allow ourselves to get caught up in that fear, in that anger, in that discord. We can't afford to lower our energy and our frequency to be angry in it. We need to rise. We need to grow. We need to help. And we need to learn. All about time that you allow yourself to be triggered. And man, I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's difficult. It really is. You're on social media, you're on Instagram, all of these suggested feeds. They're suggested why? Because they know that them feeds, those posts which are going to be revealed to you, are absolutely 100% going to get a friggin' rise out of you. Yeah, it's done on purpose. Have you not figured it out yet? Well, guess what? It's true. All of these posts which wind you up, probably the migrants, all of these sort of things, as soon as you see that, you're like, right, I've had it with this. Yes, it's exactly what they want. They want to get your light and they want to dim it. Okay, 1,660. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sharing this video. It helps more people come on board and join the club. Okay, so yes, the workforce is split. Did it happen to you? It happened to me. I know exactly what you've been through or what you're going through. I know what it's like. I really, really do. So it's all about being strategic. Start off with simple questions with individual work colleagues. That's my advice. Talk about something topical, something that's happened on the news today, and you know it's BS, and just ask them, say, what do you think about that? And then let them talk, and then say to them, where do you think the news gets all this information from? When you look at all of the main newspapers, they're all saying the same things, but they're all different newspapers. So where are they getting it from? Little seeds like that are important. It might make some of them think. When they get home from work and they sit down, they put the telly on, they're eating a doner kebab and they're drinking their pint of Stella, whatever it friggin' is, and then might click in their head, you know what? What Darren said today at work? Yeah, I wonder. Why is it the Sun, the Mirror, the Express, why have they all got the same headlines, but they're different companies? Doesn't make sense. That's what we need to do. Plant little seeds. Don't be OTT. It's all about balance, okay? We all know what happens when you go full tilt like the media do. It doesn't get the right effects that we need. So be subtle, be smart, and try and put yourself in the other person's shoes of how are they going to feel when they receive the information which you are going to gently reveal to them. Plant that seed. Speak to them every now and again, once a week. Have a little catch up, see how they're getting on. And by their answers, you might gauge if they are bothered about looking into things. It's really interesting and it's very important, and this continues. This has been going on for years. Not everyone's going to know this, but it's a good, effective way to get people on our side. What about, who remembers in 2020, the furlough? Who was furloughed? Let me know in the live chat or in the comment section. Was you furloughed? How long was you furloughed for? I was furloughed for 6 months. Yeah, on 80% pay. But what I'd done was I approached my boss, this CEO, went straight to the top. And I said, I've been hearing from other people that I know that as a goodwill gesture, especially if you've been working for a company for a long time, in my case, 16 years, that were they prepared to top it up to 100%. So the government paid 80, the company paid number 20. So I was furloughed on full pay for 6 months. Yeah, unbelievable. Who remembers the summer of 2020? The weather was amazing. I was in Lee Park, not far from Portsmouth, on the south coast of England, and I turned my entire garden into a mini homestead project. because I thought, I've already had an allotment. I know what I'm doing. This time I'm going to make by hand my own chicken coop, my own chicken run. I've done raised beds. I've dug the whole garden up. I drove around in lockdown in my car when everyone was scared. I had the entire city to myself. I was the only one on the road for most of it, driving around, finding skips, finding free materials. I built everything. A miniature, free homestead in my own back garden. And I made it work. I had eggs, a couple of chickens, fruit and vegetables, all grown organically with the skills which I've developed years ago. As a prepper, you need to have some knowledge about growing food. Make it a priority. You can have all of the Gucci kit and equipment. You can have loads of books. Until you start doing it and learning, let me tell you this, you don't know jack shit. And one of the most important things human beings need is food. Learn how to grow it. Very important. Not only that, medicinal herbs, really important. You won't believe how effective it is. If you think I'm full of BS and herbs don't work, let me tell you this. If you've got a really bad stomachache after you've had something to eat, let me tell you this. Get a 1/2 inch cube of fresh ginger, chew it up, swallow it with some water. I guarantee you, your stomachache would go in under 1 minute. Fact. Just try it. Once you've done that, you're going to understand, oh my God, these things actually work. Yes, they do. It's incredible. So yeah, the furlough thing. What happened? The government borrowed money, a lot of money from central banks. Don't forget, at interest. Okay? You've borrowed £1 billion, you've got to pay 1.1 billion back. Where are they going to get that where are they going to get that 0.1 of a billion from? Us. Taxes. Inflation. It's a great trick. Yeah, let's inflate everything. Wow. Do you remember the prices of things in 2018, 2019? And look at the prices now. Do you honestly think, in your own unbiased, natural opinion, that these prices are not going to get any higher? If you believe that the prices are going to stay the same and go back down, you have another thing coming. Hold on to your hats, Dorothy. Shit's not really started yet. We really need to start paying attention. Food is the most important thing. Before silver or anything else, make sure you get 3 to 6 months a minimum of long-term food squared out of the way. Once you've done that, then start getting a few silver coins and building up some sort of wealth which is not tied into digital. We'll get onto that in a bit. Who remembers businesses closed in 2020? And lots of them never reopened. So this is what happens when you follow the advice from governments. You're going to come unstuck. Don't forget, don't be too hard on yourself. We have all been brainwashed in the education system to do as we're told. Okay? The teacher at the front of the class, yep, obey them, do as you're told. And mum and dad says, yeah, listen to the teacher. They know what's best. Okay, mum, the teacher said this. I've got to do this. Did you do it? Yeah. Good boy. See, you're rewarded for being a compliant son of a bitch. This is the problem. The problem with society right now is because most people are yes men. What's that mean? They're used to saying yes all the time. Yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags bloody full, sir. That's the problem. Start saying no. I've done a video on this. If you haven't seen it, go into YouTube, type fungi prepper, one word, space, start saying no. Watch it. It's only a short video. It made a lot of people think it's done very well. For a reason, it resonated. We need to start growing a pair up there or down there. Start saying no. If it's something you don't agree with, it's making you feel uneasy, you don't like, don't worry, lose the fear. Just say, do you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Why? I don't care. I don't want to do it. You can't make me, and they can't. Stay no. Empower yourself. You'll go further than you think. Everyone's got this in them. You just got to dig it out. You've all got it. Every one of us have got that no man inside, or that no woman. Yeah. Bring the no woman out, bring the no man out and say, no, screw you, Jack. It's what we need right now. Too many people say yes. That's why we're in this mess. All right. So yeah, Businesses closed for good and they never reopened. How many of you watching now had a business that went belly up during 2020 and 2021? How many of you had a business, you followed the guidance? Don't worry, you're not going to be judged here. We've got a good community, okay? Lots of people watching this probably did take that thing that went inside, and now they're questioning and they regret it. Lots of people are doing that, by the way. So don't be so hard on people. Like I said, people are waking up at their own rate in their own way. Just let them do it naturally, okay? They're asking questions, and the emails that I get will shock you. It's crazy. But yeah, businesses closed for good. Then guess what? We had inflation. Don't forget, governments around the world borrowed a truckload of money from central banks, the World Bank in particular, that run all central banks. Yes, they issued money, bonds to countries, and they had to pay it back with interest. So when it was time to pay the interest, everything went up, and so did we struggle and suffer. Like I said, inflation is a killer. It really is getting to the point now where so many people are really struggling. We're not just saying, oh, I can't afford to go out and have a steak on Friday. No, we're talking, I don't know if I've got enough to get the bare basics for my family and keep the house warm. It's gone past that for a lot of people. It's insane. Lots of people lost their jobs. Like I said, businesses folded and business closed because they was advised to, because the issue. Hello, sorry about that. Is everything okay? I'm just going to drop into the chat. Can Pete frozen screen? Is everything okay? Is it still frozen? Well, I'm seeing myself move. Oh, it's 5 by 5. So, is everyone? Am I okay? Paddy Bob says yes. Back again. Right. Thanks, darling. Wow, I don't know what happened there, but anyway, we don't want to dwell on it. These sort of things happen, whether it's something about me personally or we're a technical hitch, I don't know. So we're not going to worry about it. We're going to roll on. Okay, life's too short. Well, we've lost about 200 people when that happened. Damn. Okay, so what about if you didn't get this, you're going to lose your job? Did anyone get told that when they was at work? I know there was a lot of that talk going around within the NHS. In the UK, in Britain, that's the National Health Service. So we pay into a healthcare system indirectly from our wages, and we all contribute towards pretty much a free healthcare system. Okay, so yes, did anyone get any of that sort of stuff with the mandated, yeah, you've got to have this done? That was illegal. Don't forget, look at the law yourself. We've all got to do this ourselves. No one's going to come along and tell you what to do. You got to get off your ass, go online and educate yourself. A good way that you can find time to do this: turn the telly off. Stop playing computer games. You're not a child. I stopped playing computer games when I was 17. Can't do it no more. I know how addictive they were. I stopped. I find more time, no telly, to read, to swat up, to understand, to learn, to study. I'm no one special. I'm just a bloke. If I can do it, you can do it. You need to prioritize your time so you can learn. It's crazy. So learn the laws. Mandatory is not law. Okay, it is not law. You are not required to do it. It is not a law. Okay, simple thing. Then the war in Russia, the Russian war. So when that started, early on, I think it's February 2022. Yeah, what happened? Energy prices started to rise. Fuel prices rose. Do you remember how much the fuel prices, or of the diesel at the petrol stations in the UK? I remember it going over £2 for 1 litre of diesel. Shocking. Don't forget, in 2019, around Christmas time, it was way under £1 for a litre of petrol or diesel. It was under. And it went to over £2. Who remembers that? Do you remember that in the live chat? It could happen again. We've had the fuel crisis, 2021. Do you remember that? Queuing up at petrol stations because there wasn't enough fuel. You was rationed to £20 or 20 litres, whatever it was. And once the whole petrol station ran out, they literally bollarded the whole lot off. Everyone drove off to find another one. Yeah. Were you prepping back then? Did you have jerry cans full up with petrol or diesel out away from your house, stored safely, so you could carry on about your business? It's what us preppers do. We think ahead. These things have happened before more than once, and they are going to happen again. So if you haven't got food and fuel stored, how many more times are you going to need to be taught a hard lesson before you start doing something for yourself? Make it a priority. So all of that sort of stuff happened with the Russian war. Then we had the migrants. Oh my God, don't get me started on the migrants. How much of an issue it is affected globally. It's insane. Look at the Western world. The UK, America, Canada, Europe, Australia. Okay? Unbelievable levels of net migration. Insane. Through the friggin' roof. Bonkersly high. Insane. So what did that do? It put more pressure on the NHS and hospitals all the way around the world. It put more pressure on police because crime was going up. Some of these people didn't really want to be here. It was almost like they were forced, or they was told a lie and it wasn't like what they expected. And how many of these migrants, illegal ones, fighting age male migrants, I hasten to add, how many of them are criminals? How many of them have got criminal convictions? We don't know. But looking at the crime and at the rate of migration coming into the UK in particular, crime has followed that trend with the amount of migrants that are coming in. Now, I know for a fact that in America right now, Texas is a war zone at that border. It's insane. And I can't believe that in America, there are millions of armed patriots not doing anything about it. Why? Why? If you really love your country and you're armed, what are you doing? It's insane. If we had weapons and stuff in the UK, we probably would be going down to the border and say, right, that's it. No more's coming in. We haven't. It's our fault how we've got to this. What are you guys doing? You guys worry me in America. You can talk or you can walk. We're all waiting for the American patriots to say, right, that's it. This ends now. It's revolution time. That time isn't far away, because when you look at all of these things happening, what do you think is going to happen? Someone's going to come along and make it all better just like that? Bullshit. No one's coming. I don't care what you think. No one's coming. This stuff is slowly unfolding as we live through this time. It's crazy. So the migrants, pressure on the hospitals and the police. We've had protests. We've had riots. Not just here in the UK. Who remembers in France? Have you forgotten already? In Paris? The place was a war zone because of the migrant crisis there. It's a war zone again with the farmers. And we go on to that in a bit. But not only with the migrant situation going on all over the Western world, there is a lot of discord with local peoples, and for very just, valid reasons too. Rape has gone up. Crime has gone up. Yeah. What about police? Where's a good policeman when you want one? And whatever your thoughts are about the police, okay, it's entirely up to you. But let me tell you this, if you're leaning on one side to the other, there's good and bad in everyone. Okay, there is really good police out there and some really bad ones. And that's always going to be that way. There's going to be really good soldiers and really shit ones. Politicians, most of them are bad. Andrew Bridgen's probably the only one that I've heard of, which is half decent and got some sort of backbone. Okay. Lots of these MPs and whatever, they sort of remain backbenchers because they are literally marginalised and they've got no real power. So all of that's happened off the back of this migrant crisis. All right. Then fast forward to the Online Safety Bill, which then went live to the Online Safety Act. I've done videos on this. Just search in YouTube and you'll see Funky Prepper, Online Safety Act, Online Safety Bill, the Digital Services Act in Europe. I've covered them all over the last year and a half. This is for the benefit of the nearly 6,000 new subscribers who have just found me. Please share this video. It seriously helps. It really does, like you wouldn't believe. So you guys hit the thumbs up because that helps too. So the Online Safety Act, snooping on private online chats. Yeah. How many of you have been talking to your partner, your son, your daughter, your brother or your sister in the comfort of your own house with your phones present, recording every single thing that you say? How many times have you gone into a website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is? How many of you are seeing adverts targeted about what you are saying? If you want to play a game, if you don't believe me, if you think this is BS, right, play a game. So have your phone with you, have it within 2 feet, okay, and speak to someone in the room, all right? And keep mentioning the same thing over and over again. Just make it up. Say, do you know what? We should go to holiday in Canada, in the Rocky Mountains. I'd love to go in Canada, in the Rocky Mountains on holiday, wouldn't you? And just say Rocky Mountains as many times as you can within reason. Guarantee you within the hour, you go onto Facebook and you're going to see adverts about holidays in the Rocky Mountains, right? This was happening 6 years ago. What do you think's happening now? Insane. Insane. And this Online Safety Act gives our benevolent government here in Britain the right to snoop in all our private encrypted conversations. Yeah, Signal, Telegram, WhatsApp, all of it. You wait, this year? The CEO of Signal has already said if or when they are approached by UK government so they can literally skim through all of their applications to scan for child porn and all that sort of nonsense, they're going to walk away. The only way that you can use Signal is to be outside of mainland UK. Forget it if you think you're a smart ass and you're going to use a VPN or whatever. It won't work. All right? They've already talked about it. The CEO of Signal has even said, don't think you can use a VPN and get around it. You're going to have to physically be out of mainland UK if you want to use Signal when the UK government tell them that, right, now we need to monitor your app via the Online Safety Act. It was passed through Parliament and then it got passed on to our king. And we all know who our king is in bed with, don't we? Of course. So thank you, King Charles, for signing the Online Safety Act so they can snoop through all of our private conversations. Thank you very much. Then, to make matters worse, we had this lunatic bitch in Europe say this, the World Economic Forum.
For the global business community, the top concern for the next 2 years is not conflict or climate. It is disinformation and misinformation, followed closely by polarization within our societies. These risks are serious because they limit our ability to tackle the big global challenges we are facing. Changes in our climate and our geopolitical climate, shifts in our demography and in our technology, spiraling region.
So that can go on and on and on. So basically, in Davos in January, not last month, the month before, we're in March now, don't forget. Yeah, she said the most important thing which the World Economic Forum is focusing on over the next 2 years, so it's this year and 2025, is mis and disinformation. We are going to see a frigging huge, mammoth, massive, high magnitude war with censorship, and it's going to be ramping up this year. It's going to be huge. If you think fact checkers are taking the piss now, just you wait. This year and next year is going to be insane. Every single thing is going to require some sort of watermark to see that it's been fact checked. For real. Everything will. That is going to severely kick us in the nuts with sharing this sort of information. It really will. Like I said in previous videos, one of the ways around this, which I believe, and I've had some emails about this too, about 3 days ago now, is we need to be in contact with printers. So if you're in a city or a town or wherever it is, or you're at home, if you've got access to a printing machine, whether it's a big scanner, a printer, a computer, sign makers, t-shirt printers, whatever it is, we are going to need those guys and girls more than ever before this year and next year. These guys and girls who run printing shops, whether it's at home or on a high street shop or wherever it is, are going to be sought after like you wouldn't believe. Because once this war starts soon, we are going to need to get this information out there old school. We are going to need to put posters in bus stops, doctors' surgeries, junctions at traffic lights, whatever it is, entrances to football matches, pubs, supermarkets, wherever. We need to get links, QR codes, whatever it is that scans, joins to websites, to Facebook groups about this information or whatever it is. We need to get this information out there. And one of the things, which is a cool thing to do, I know I was showing you this before, but this is for the benefit of the new guys, okay? Just looks like a 20 quid note. I wish it would focus. So yeah, but when you look at it, it's not. Don't be fooled, all right? Say no to central bank digital currency. Old school, paper, printing, because the amount of censorship which is going to be rammed down our bloody jacksies over the next 24 months now, it's going to be horrendous. It's going to really catch people out, okay? One of the reasons why I decided to go on Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, all of the others, and I'm getting a website being built as well. We really need to safeguard our voice, okay? Newsletters, if you haven't already done so, there is a link below the video. You click onto that and it will take you straight to the joining page for my newsletter. I sent one out on Monday and it went out to nearly 6,000 people instantly. So yes, I can share information, links, discounts, whatever it is, to 6,000 people like that. So we need to get on it, because this mis and disinformation war, which the WEF Muppets are banging on about, believe it, it's real. It's really real. Okay. What about moving chronologically forward? What about the died suddenly? How many people do you know personally who have died suddenly? Died way before their time. What was their health like? Was it good? Was it really bad? Was it mediocre? Those. Lots of people have died since that has happened. Personally, I believe there was placebos as well during 2021 and 2022. Some people were just having saline, like all of the campaigns we saw. Who remembers Boris Johnson, Sunak? Yeah, if they even broke the skin, it would have been saline. No way would they have taken that junk, that mRNA experimental thing? Really? Yes. It's horrible because I've been given a phone number to one of the guys in Milton Keynes who is works for the coroner, autopsies, funeral directors. He's got evidence of the stuff that they are pulling out of veins from people who have been poked. And it resembles silicon. Never in the history of autopsies has this stuff ever been found. Isn't it a coincidence that this stuff only started to appear after that stuff in 2021? Isn't it a coincidence? Personally, I don't really believe in coincidences. If they happen, they're very, very rare. I personally believe everything happens for a reason. So that has absolutely been going on. Okay. What about the pandemic treaty of the World Health Organization? They're trying their best to get that in place this year. It's had fierce opposition, and yes, it hangs in a thread. So we really need to make sure awareness is pushed out about the pandemic treaty. They have member states, i.e. governments and countries around the entire globe, signed up to that treaty. Okay. I suspect if, and it is an if, not a when, because I am optimistic in a world like this. I am optimistic. I hope you are too. Despite all of this doom and gloom, fear porn, scaremongering, some people who like to have their head in the sand and think everything's going to be all right. Right, we really need to understand this, okay? If, not when, if they do this, it's going to be this autumn. We're looking late September, October, November. Those 3 months are going to be huge this year. It's going to be massively huge before you won't be able to understand how big it's going to be. It's going to be nuts. So if you think I'm talking bollocks, you wait to November, right? Come back to this video and watch me say this. September, October, November 2024 is going to be a friggin' nightmare. Huge. Disease X. That's all I'm going to say. I've done videos on this. Disease X, yeah, end of this year. They are already planning and preparing for this. And I'm hoping it's going to be another scam like the first one in 2020. But something's telling me this one's going to be the real thing. This one's probably going to be that Billy Boy has been saying for years now, when the big one hits. If you think the big one was 2020, I'm really sorry to say this, but no, that was a test. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go into YouTube and type in Event 201. Watch 20 odd hours worth of it. That happened way before the issue happened in March 2020. A coincidence? I think not. So, personally, in my opinion, that was a great big friggin' training exercise. What do you think? Do you think that was real? Do you think it happened organically via bats in a Wuhan lab, etc.? Do you swallow that bullshit? If you want to, that's fine. But from what lots of us are researching and looking into this, that was just one big cover story, Jack. The real truth is it was a great big experiment and we all played our part. We all submitted data, aware or not aware. It happened. Then, central bank digital currency. Yeah, next year, UK fully on board central bank digital currency. There's going to be precursors this year leading up to that, like test events. There's been certain towns and cities in the UK already who have been piloting a scheme with some of the banks, the high street banks too. Let me know if your bank is taking part in the program of central bank digital currency rollout for next year. Some banks are doing it all over the UK. It's crazy. Basically, if you don't know what it is, they are going to track all of your spending habits. And they have full power and authority to block transactions whenever they want. Basically, total control over how you spend your money. And also, money is going to have a time limit on it. So you get a universal basic income, like a universal credit, go into your bank account or your digital wallet via your digital ID. That needs to be in place first, digital ID. Without that, they can't do anything. So we've got that coming down the pipe too, digital ID. They're already rolling it out in certain parts of Europe. Some of you watching right now are in Europe, and you can tell the others it's happening. And also, if you think all of this is poppycock, like putting chips into your hands, like implants, what about the thousands of people in Sweden who have been doing this for over 10 years already? You think I'm making it up? Look into it. You're going to come back and say, do you know what? What I'm saying is 100% truth, and it is. Some people just don't believe it. Look into it and you will see. Yes, I'm aware of the time. Just quickly, it's been a while. I've been in the hospital and I've been ill. I've come out, it's all good. Antibiotics done their job. So now it's the first time I'm having a Spitfire. Because I want to. There we go. Shepherd's Neem. Good stuff, that. Spitfire. It's an amber ale. It's none of that lager crap with all of that God knows what in it. You look at the ingredients of this stuff, you should really know what you're eating and drinking. And I don't want to be drinking that fluoridated Budweiser crap. That's not a beer. I wouldn't even wash my dishes in that weak piss. Anyway, we're all entitled to our opinion. That's really, really good. Cheers, everybody. That was really awesome. So yes, central bank digital currencies, that is absolutely on the cards. I remember they done the world's first artificial intelligence conference at Bletchley Park last year. And in that meeting, central bank digital currency was being proposed to be linked with artificial intelligence. Now, how freaking scary is that? Yeah. Who's going to run all of these transactions? Humans can't. Artificial intelligence. And from what I've seen from AI so far, it is an absolute joke. Some of you guys watching right now would have remembered I'd done a live stream nearly a year ago, 10 months ago, when I went live and I used ChatGPT and asked some serious questions. And based on all of the replies that I got, I can tell you, hand on heart, that AI, OpenAI, is 100% agenda focused. Yeah. So if you disagree with all of these things that I'm saying, yeah, you're a right-wing conspiracy theorist, and artificial intelligence, whatever they're saying, like the mainstream is saying, is the truth, where we know it's not. So that's where it's going. Also, your digital ID, your digital wallet, is going to be linked to your carbon footprint, your carbon wallet. So whatever you buy, whatever you purchase, is going to have a carbon score on it. So the higher that score, the higher it's going to cost. So when you go to the shop and you spend £300 on a great big 45-inch telly or whatever it is, that's now. Fast forward 4 or 5 years from now, that cheap TV is going to cost probably a year's wages. And you might laugh and think I'm crazy. Well, when you look at all of the individual components that make up that television set, they all have to be produced, manufactured using a lot of energy. How many integrated circuits, transistors, capacitors, resistors, boards, flexi circuits, you know, all sorts of stuff that goes in a modern TV these days. Do you know how much carbon it's going to cost to create that TV? You won't be able to afford it. You won't be able to afford it. It's where it's going. What about DEW, directed energy weapons? Yeah, who knows what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comment section. Just going to go on here now. Thank you for the donations, by the way, you guys. That's very, very kind. Wow, that's awesome. Yes, So what about HARP? HARRP. High Advanced Aurora Research Project. Yes. So if you think that all of this climate change, I'll be really careful saying that, it's true. How many people watching now think that climate change is all made by us human beings? It's all our fault. Let me know in the chat. Okay. So if you think that all of these weird weather patterns that we've been having, I don't know, for 20 years or so, how many of you really think that it's our fault and it's down to how we all live, which is making that happen? It'd be interesting to see, because like I'm saying, I'm thinking about the 6,000 new subscribers who have joined in the last 28 days. I'm interested to see what you think. Now, don't worry, we're not going to judge or anything like that. But I'm trying to sort of make you understand if you really do believe that. And, you know, why wouldn't you? Because the government and the mainstream are all saying it. It's all on films, programs, documentaries. God forbid that David Attenborough guy, who is absolutely on board with the program. Personally, my hero out of the two is David Bellamy. Who remembers David Bellamy? Yeah, get down in the undergrowth with his beard. That was the real guy. He knew all this was BS. He was speaking out about it. And guess what they done? Yeah, they cancelled him. They shut him up. They did. And what happened after then? Mr. Attenborough rose like the god of our climate, pushing the agenda that it's all man's fault. It's all our idea. It's all our problem. No. Step up directed energy weapons and HARP technologies. We have seen a massive increase in fires. Look at what's going on in Texas right now. In fact, if you're in Texas, how bad is it? Because we are being told one thing on the mainstream. Now, I'm going to be really, really keen to learn that are there any houses that are burnt down that are surrounded by trees which were untouched? Who remembers what happened in Hawaii? Who remembers what happened in California? You know what I'm saying. Yeah. Are we seeing the same thing again? And especially if you live in Texas or in those affected areas. I've got a friend who just moved to Canada, VA, and tell you what, the forest fires, the wildfires out there was insane. Unbelievable. And yes, someone said arson, and I agree. In some cases, it's arson. But can arson start volcanoes and earthquakes? No. It can start wildfires. Yes, it's highly suspicious that arson will be used in a correct area at precisely the right time when they're going to have strong prevailing winds in the direction of where the fire was started. Very, very clever skill that. That's not your bog standard arsonist. This is done professionally. Okay? Don't forget, the powers that be, whatever, whoever they are, they have got unlimited funds, unlimited freaking psychopathic minds and resources. They're going to do everything they can to make our life a living friggin' hell. So in 2024, you've got to be working very hard to stay alive. No bullshit. There's people that aren't here anymore because they believed in the government, etc. And look where it got them. I know. So it's fires, earthquakes, volcanoes, USA, Japan, Iceland, Hawaii, Chile. People painting their bloody houses blue on the roofs. You're thinking, what's he on about? Yeah, they learnt that in Hawaii. Some of the buildings and the vehicles that were blue mysteriously were not affected by these fires. How's that? Insane. So if you really think that this directed energy weapon is a conspiracy, it's all made up nonsense, you really need to look into it. Okay? You do. Because ask yourself this, how come there's a huge big fire that rolls across the town, everything was destroyed, but there are buildings that were blue and vehicles that were left completely untouched? You tell me how that happened. And when you look at some people who are spilling the beans, whistleblowers with DEWs, directed energy weapons, Yes, there's something about the colour blue. Speaking about blue, what about communication? Right, honey?
Yeah.
Communication.
Communication.
Blue. Yes. You're saying, what are you on about? Blue. Well, who remembers seeing that film recently on Netflix, which the Obamas had something to do with? You know, that one where all of those electric cars were all crashing by themselves and driving themselves? Have you ever stopped to think that 95% of that entire film was blue? In the background, the color, the predominant color, blue. Why? Well, if you want to communicate something, use the color blue. Why do you think the World Economic Forum, all of their color is blue? Why? Because they know psychologically you can use the color blue to communicate stuff. Communicate stuff. Communicate stuff. It's true. If you don't believe me, do your research. It won't take you long. And it will tell you, yep. Smurfs don't get burnt. Anthony, you are awesome. I love this community. Because let me tell you this, Anthony, you're right. If you can't laugh and joke in times like this, you're screwed. Anthony, give yourself a gold star. You're awesome. There it is. Anthony, I love you, brother. That's really good. So yeah, the color blue, directed energy weapons. Look into it. You might learn something. Some of you guys, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm sorry for stating the obvious, but not everyone knows. So who remembers in America? What about all of those food facilities that were frigging torched to the ground? Do you remember that? Yeah. Food processing plants was the term used. I'll call it food factories because basically it's a factory that makes food. Simple. Yeah. And I done a video on this, and there were hundreds and hundreds of these factories, not just in America, we had them in the UK. Who remembers these fires? Any of you guys watching in the chat now, let me know if you remember these fires that were happening in 2021 and 2022, and I think early 2023 last year. There was fires. I know there's some in Kent. I think there was some Isleworth, I think it was, near London. Yeah, you remember. Yeah, Snow Patriot. Yes, I do. Absolutely. And you guys in America, well, do you know what? You guys in America, and I hope if you are watching this in America right now, can you please share this video with your American friends? Because we really need to get lots of Americans in the chat. Because what's happening in the UK is happening in America. There are so many similarities of what's going on in the US to what's going on in the UK. We want all of our American brothers across the pond to know that they're not alone. We're going through this shit as well. Us Brits, my God, you won't believe the amount of migration, all of the HARP stuff, everything. But the food, wow, unbelievable. But not just food processing plant. What about the farmers? I went to a protest, not yesterday, the day before. Insane. Between 2,000 and 3,000 farmers were there, and they left pissed off. Why? Because we had to listen to politicians. And we all know politicians are full of shit. We know this. Something's got to change. It doesn't matter who you vote for. I don't give a toss. I don't care if it's Reform, UKIP, Brexit Party, or whatever it is. It's the same old shit. You think you're getting choice. It's the illusion of choice. The whole system needs to change, everything. How long has this system been going for? You vote for a party, they come in, they run the shop, they run it to the ground, they screw it up, we get shagged over, it ain't fair. And more people are getting pissed off at this. Like I'm saying, everything's falling apart around the world. And it's not just all of these things I've mentioned, the farmers are up in arms. It's not just in the UK. Europe, my God, Europe is a freaking war zone right now. And why is it not on the BBC every single day? All you have to do is go into X or Twitter and type in Europe space farmers and search latest. You won't believe it. You will not believe it. The stuff going on out there. Did you know that over 100 people were arrested today for barricading the Arc de Triomphe? Yeah, for real. Was that on the BBC? Did you hear about that? Nah, thought not. There's so much stuff. I could spend 2 hours straight just talking about what's going on in Europe right now. But I wanted to look at the bigger picture because all of the things I'm talking about, it's happening everywhere. So these farmers' protests, it's in India as well. And I would imagine you're going to see farmers protesting in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, South America, South Africa. Yeah, we all know what happened in South Africa, don't we? Yeah, farmers were killed, pretty much. What a tit for tat thing that was. We don't want to be seeing the same sort of stuff. Basically, they want in 10 years, or 15 years, sorry, 16 years, they want 30% of all farmland in the UK to be used for trees and insects and birds and things like that. So yeah, a loss of 30% of all this country's agricultural land. Does that make sense? This is what happens when we vote for politicians using the system. Yeah, nice idea, Jack. Why do you think the whole world's screwed? Because we keep making the same frigging dumb mistakes, voting these arseholes in to screw us over wholesale. Oh yeah, 100% fact. It's true. Look at what's going on. Unbelievable. The stuff which is going on with these frigging politicians, these United Nations Agenda 21, 2030, 2050, the Sustainable Development Goals, all of this stuff is all BS. Carbon is a killer. Yeah, without carbon, guess what? Every biological life form on this planet dies. They want zero carbon by 2050. So basically, they want everyone on the planet dead. Everyone. Every bee, every person, every tree, every fish, everything gone. Not very nice, is it? No. Basically, the world's been run by friggin' psychopaths. Yeah. I don't know what percentage of the planet, 5%? 5% are truly unempathic, violent, psychopathic arseholes. And they are pulling the strings. Bad things happen when good people do nothing. But let me tell you this, the way things are going, with all of the protests, all of the marches, all of the discord across the board globally, it's just a matter of time, and I don't think it will take that long. People are going to rise up and literally sort out the problem. Look into that what you will, okay? But not only the farmers, who remembers the truckers? Let me know in the chat right now if you knew what was going on in Canada and America with the truckers. Yeah, some truckers, believe it or not, they were going to the aid of farmers in Spain 2 weeks ago. Did you know that? No, I don't remember seeing that on the BBC or Sky Sports or Sky News. No, why? Because they won't tell you. You need to look into it yourself. Whilst you're busy finding out the latest bloody episode of EastEnders or how many goals Spurs scored last week, all of that bullshit is irrelevant. It's bread and circus. It's what the ancient Romans done to keep the idiots busy whilst they carried on building their empire, getting extremely wealthy, at the same time making everyone extremely freaking poor and bloody miserable. Same shit, different day. Yes, the truckers, the protesters in Canada. Do you remember? Was you a part of that? Anyone in the live chat right now? That'd be really good to see. Because what happened? And this boiled my piss. This boiled my piss. What? Yes. They froze the freaking bank accounts of not only the truckers, but the people who are helping the truckers. The freaking gall of it. Do you know what? If you want to go to a Nazi country, go to bloody Canada. That arsehole in charge, who happens to be a World Economic Forum member, surprise, surprise, who saw that coming? Let me know in the chat. That arsehole is evil. And let me tell you this, with that security, one punch is a goner. That guy, none of these guys could fight their way out of a paper bag. And one day, guess what? Their security detail are just going to walk away. And all of these people who think they're at the top, they're going to have no security. People are going to find them. and they're going to be gone. But guess what? We are being led to believe that these are the people with the real power, pulling the real strings. No. Let me tell you this. The real power, you are never going to know who they are or where they are. All of the Bezos, the Bill Gates, the Klaus Schwab, all of the publicly named people are gettable, and they are going to be goneable at some point soon. Only the people who are working in the shadows, who we don't know who they are, they will get away with it, because no one knows who they are and where they are. So these people right at the very top, Klaus Schwab, King Charles, whatever it is, yeah, they are all expendable. Once their purpose has been fulfilled, they won't have any use. They won't be any use to anyone, and they are going to be left open. They won't have any security detail. It's game over for them. So just think, when that happens, and it will happen, mark my words, this is going to happen one day. Don't think that it's going to be over. Like I said, the true evil lurks in the shadows. Until we find these scum hiding in the shadows, then it will be over. Fact. What about you, Les, in London? If you guys are watching from America, you probably don't know what ULEZ is. Basically, it's a carbon CO2 reducing scheme in central London, and indeed other places like Birmingham, basically large urban populated areas. If you want to drive a vehicle which isn't electric, gas or diesel, petrol, you got to pay charges every single day. Now, what they've done in London, we have this mayor, which no one voted for, and he is one of the most hated men in the UK. There's a long queue of these hated men, you know. Khan, yeah, we all know, the dodgy looking child car salesman twat. Yes, him. Who knows what I'm talking about? You guys in the UK, let the Americans know about this guy and how we feel about Mr. Khan, the mayor of London. Wow. Yeah. What a toe rag he is. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. So yes, he introduced this system called ULEZ. Put cameras everywhere, and if you didn't pay the charge, £12, whatever it is a day, £20, whatever it is, if you didn't pay, you got fined. An automatic instant fine. You had to pay it. And London was making a fortune on these fines. And do you know what happened? A movement started. This is the power of the people. They were lovingly referred to as blade runners. These guys and girls were operating in London in broad daylight and under the cover of darkness. They were physically removing these cameras. Now, lots of cameras, being ex-security, they're always going to be in vantage points, i.e. up there looking down to get a more broader scope. They can zoom, pan, everything. So rather than climb up to the top of these things, what they was doing, they was using things like cordless disc cutters and cutting the whole freaking pole down. Yeah, 80-foot pole. Just cut it with a disc cutter, it fell over, boom. This movement grew rapidly through social media. Now, this is where I bring back to what I said earlier. With the World Economic Forum are using disinformation. They're going to make it very hard to report to the masses, you guys, that this is actually going on. And from what I've been hearing, it looks like the Blade Runners have won, because the London council, they get a budget from central government towards certain things, transport. Okay, apparently there isn't enough money in the budget to replace all of these vandalized and remove ULEZ cameras. So basically what we can determine from that action alone is Blade Runners 1, London government 0. A victory for the people. So you can drive around London, don't have to pay the charge because of this bullshit climate crap which they've entirely created. It's nothing to do with us. They're doing it to make money. That's all they're doing. Get rich quick. And people, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to pay. Oh, God, I've got to pay the fine. Here's the fine. I'll pay it now. That fine might be the difference whether your family eat or not for 3 or 4 days. Yeah. So people are cutting the cameras down. No one's paying the fines. People are winning. Good job, in my opinion. That's my own personal take on it. Oxford. What an amazing place that is. 15-minute cities. Who remembers the protests going on in Oxford? Let everyone know in the chat if you remember what was going on in Oxford. My God, the protests there were insane. I've been to one in Wales not long ago, and there are going to be protests in Oxford this year because let me tell you this, the council in Oxford, they are going to try it on again with this 15-minute city, LTNs, low traffic neighborhoods, all of that BS. They are going to try it again. It's true. It really, really is true. I'm just looking through some of these pics here. Let me tell you, there you go. There's one of the things of those ULEZ cameras. They just cut the whole thing. Not a single toss was given. These cameras were just removed all over London, and they can't afford to put new ones up. So yeah, that worked. There we go. 15-minute cities. Welcome to the real Hunger Games. Has anyone watching this video seen the Hunger Games? Let me know in the chat, because some people, believe it or not, have not watched the Hunger Games. I think it's a series of 4 films set in the future. Basically, 1% population was wealthy, 99% were literally living in fear on a pittance. Hunger Games, it's uncannily looking that way. The way this is going, it is scary. Like I say, everything's falling apart around the world for sure. So yes, Oxford, 15-minute cities to protest. If you don't already know, all it is just a harebrained scheme trying to get people to live in these tiny little zones. You're not allowed to go from one zone to the other. If you do, you're probably going to be charged to do so. So basically, what we're looking at is extreme restriction of movement. So right now, if you drive a vehicle and you're in America, you can drive anywhere you want in America whenever you want. In the UK, the same. Europe, the same. At some point before 2030, they are going to do every single thing that they can in the powers that they believe they have to stop anyone driving wherever they want, whenever they want. They are going to do their best to stop it. How does that make you feel? If you wanted to just get in your pickup and you wanted to go from New York, pop over to Chicago to see friends, and they said, no, not allowed. It's too much carbon. You're going to kill the planet. No. How does that make you feel? Knowing full well that all of this carbon stuff is complete BS. And they're trying to manipulate and brainwash you to think, no. The more carbon in the atmosphere, the CO2, the greenhouse gases, we're all going to die. All of the sea levels are going to rise. We're going to go underwater. Well, if that's the case, the sea levels are going to rise. Ask yourself why billionaires are buying property all around the world on coastal resorts, islands. If you've got all of that money, you're going to have some degree of intelligence. Why, knowing that all of the sea levels are going to rise because we've been driving around on our Nissan Micra, why would they build properties all around on the coast knowing that they're going to be underwater? Doesn't make sense. Do you know why it doesn't make sense? Because all of this climate change stuff is all bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And that's one of the reasons why people like me and others are getting silenced telling people this, because they don't want lots of people knowing. So much so, they've demonetized 3 of my videos. I'm not getting any money from those 3 videos talking about this stuff. I don't care. I continue because this stuff needs to get out. Why? Who has got kids and grandkids? Think about their future, because if we don't do something, their future is going to be pretty shit. I mean, it's going to be nothing like the freedoms that you have had. Now, the older you are, and our elders in the community especially, you remember how simple life was back in the day, before all of these computer bullshit and all of these smartphones and bullshit. Life was simpler, stress-free, easier. Everyone slept okay. Another thing, how many of you guys sleep well? This would be funny, darling. How many of you watching right now go to bed and have a good 8 hours solid sound sleep? Let me know if you get that. I bet you a tenner that the overwhelming majority of people commenting say they have crap sleep. They have broken sleep. They wake up in the middle of the night. They can't get comfortable. They get ringing in their ears. They get tinnitus. All these problems. They can't sleep. So, my God, lots of people are struggling to sleep. Not many have a sound sleep every single night. Well, there's things that you can do. A good thing to do, at least 1 hour before you go to bed, turn all of your screens off and your Wi-Fi. Yeah, unplug your Wi-Fi. Don't just press the standby thing. Unplug it. No power. Turn your phone off. Read a book. Dim the lights. Quieten everything down. Eat the right foods. You will sleep way better. And when you sleep better, you will be a lot less stressed. You will be a lot less anxious. You would be a lot calmer in yourself. Your quality of life will improve. If you're going around on crap sleep, you're going to be snappy, irritable. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get wound up, stressed. That's not good. So, yeah, lots of people are saying, can I turn the baby off? Been there before. I spent 2 months, just under 2 months, of 20 minutes sleep, 20 minutes awake. 20 minutes sleep, 20 minutes awake. I had that for 2 months. I know what sleep deprivation is like. It's a killer. The only thing that helped me is caffeine. Really good quality caffeine. Without that, wow. So we all need our sleep. It's important. So yeah, this Oxford, going back to the 15-minute cities, did you know this, that all UK governments, I can't remember how many, 150 or so, there's a lot. Every government in the United Kingdom is signed up to the C40 scheme. C40. If you don't know what that is, Google it. And it turns out our lovely little friends, the Mayor of London, he is the chairman of the C40 city scheme. And this is globally. Yeah, it's not just the UK, it's all around the globe. These C40 cities, LTNs, low traffic neighborhoods, they're bollarding off roads. They're trying to make driving or traveling, whether it's public transport, taxis, cars, bikes, motorbikes, whatever it is, a complete frigging nightmare. And not only that, we have got that tosspot in Wales trying to make everyone go 20 miles an hour. Who has got 20 mile an hour signs near where you live? Let us know. I don't think it's just Wales. I think there's other places in the UK as well. I did hear that they were doing a pilot scheme in Wirral. And Wirral is not far from Liverpool. Faye, if you're in here, let everyone know. Because like I say, it's not just Wales. It's different parts of the UK. They are trying to make people drive no more than 20 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour. We're talking huge, great big wide roads, some of them with no houses. Why the friggin' hell are you doing 20 miles an hour for? It doesn't make sense. People's time is very precious. Do you want to waste it doing 20 miles an hour, thrashing your engine on high revs, or kangarooing everywhere because you're going too slow for the speed? It's insane. It's not good for your car. Nonetheless, it's all being forced. So yes, the 15-minute cities, they want everyone to have access to full community service within 15 minutes of their front door. Yeah, so a zone. You must stay in your zone. If you want to leave your zone, it's going to cost you. Not good. What about cash points? Now, how many people use cash? Now, I'm going to be the first to admit I use cash, but not all of the time. And sometimes it's down to myself. Sometimes I forget. There's no excuse. And don't feel bad if you don't use cash all the time. It's not easy, but if we try to spend more cash than we do with our card, it's better than not using cash at all. The thing is, what you get with cash is you get pretty much guaranteed a private transaction. Okay, so when you go and buy something from a shop with cash, it's not traceable to you. It's no one's business anywhere on this planet what you buy. You've earned your money. That money belongs to you. Whatever you buy is your business. It's no one else's business. Every time that you use a credit card or a debit card, whatever it is, someone knows what you've bought, when you've bought it. And then once you get a picture of your spending habits, online payments, transfers, contactless payment transactions, yeah, they are going to see everything that you buy. Yeah. They will know everything about you, about what you buy. Oh, look, they know. Oh, pretty soon you can just see them in GCHQ. If you're watching, hi. I know it's a bit hot on your ears wearing the headphones in that building. I know the car park's been busy lately. But you guys, you know, I know you got your job to do and you love listening. So shout out to the GCHQ guys. How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Yes, people are listening and finding out what people are doing. It's got no one else's business what you buy with your cash. Like I said, people are getting an idea on your spending habits, and I bet you any money, like the people at GCHQ, MI5, etc., they know, and they probably do books. I'll bet you in about 10 minutes is going to be buying some more toilet rolls, because they know it's roughly the same sort of amount of time between each bulk toilet roll transaction. And I bet you they have fun and games with it because they know they read us like a book. Using cash is awesome. It really is. But the problem is cash points are closing. How many of you in the chat right now have noticed this? If you had a cash point near you, which is closed for good, it'd be interesting to know toilet roll transaction. I know. I don't know why I pulled that out my ass, but I did. But yeah, cash points, they're closing down at a rate of knots. They really, really are. And the problem is, not many people are aware of this, but it's a simple thing. If you haven't got a cash point near you, but you've got a post office, did you know that you can go into your post office, use your debit card, and make a cash withdrawal there and then on any bank in the UK? Did you know that? And building societies too, I believe. I could be wrong. But yeah, so if you're struggling to find a cash point, or it's too far, it doesn't make economical sense. It's not economically viable to do so. And if you've got a post office near you, use that. Try it. And I'll tell you what, when you've got cash in your pocket, you can monitor your cash flow a lot easier rather than going buying stuff. And sometimes if you go and buy something on your debit card, it won't show up on your bank statement for a few days. And sometimes I know how busy we are. We've got kids and families and work and traffic and parking and shopping and all that shit. I know time is very precious. That's one of the reasons why I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, because time is the most precious commodity. And all of you who have shared this video, I can't thank you enough, because more people will watch this and they will see what you're doing in the live chat. Because on all of my live streams, I enable the live chat so people can watch the replay and they can see everything which is going on in the live chat. Okay, it's important, because the more that we know, the more that we feel what the masses are really talking about, which has been hidden from the mainstream, like we know, the more of a balanced opinion people are going to form based upon the truth of what everyone's saying in this community. It's an amazing community. And you moderators, thank you so much for making sure it's clean and we haven't got arseholes in there winding people up. Okay, it really, really helps. So not only are we seeing cash points close, in America they call them ATMs, automated teller machines, I think they're called. We are seeing the rise of shops and businesses that are card only. Sorry, we don't take cash. Well, my advice to anyone who finds themselves in a situation where they are about to make a transaction, whether it's a business or a shop, boycott them. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. You don't have to do anything. It's just what I do. And everyone has the right to do whatever they want. If I inadvertently walked into a shop and I got some goods that I wanted to buy, and I queued up and I got to the front and I got my cash out and I said, really sorry, sir, we don't take cash, I would say, get me the manager. And I wouldn't do anything until that was done. So it's in their interest to get a manager there quick. There's going to be a queue. There's going to be people waiting. Tensions are going to start to rise. People are busy. They haven't got time to wait behind the cash guy, me. The manager will turn up and say, I've got cash. I want to buy these. I've been told by your assistant that I can't complete the transaction with cash. Why? I'm sorry, sir. It's policy, or we stop using cash. Do you know what I do? I said, absolutely fine. I said, these goods, I'm going to leave it here. Your staff are going to have to put it back on the shelves in their time. And I'm going to take this cash and I'm going to spend it somewhere else. And not only that, I am going to tell 132,000 of my friends to do the same. And you, sir, can stick it up your ass. It's exactly what I will say. And some of you guys and girls who know me know that I will actually do that. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. We need people to start saying no. We need people, especially men, to grow a pair. Why? Because another thing, which I'm going on to next, funny enough, is all of this woke bullshit. All of the woke stuff. All of the trans people. Okay? There's two genders, male and female. That's it. There's none other. They're all gone. That's all there is, two. And if you don't believe in, you're struggling to understand why, all you need to do is to go to any online form, moreover, a government form, and it will say gender, male or female. Okay? So anyone or anything that tries to tell you or try to coerce you into thinking that there are more than two genders, these people are seriously mentally ill. They have got a mental condition where their brains just simply aren't functioning. There is only two genders, male and female. If you're religious, Adam and Eve. It's not Adam, Eve, and Simon Steve. It's crazy. So all of this woke stuff, all of this pride, all of this inclusive stuff. I've got gay friends, okay? It's their business. I'll tell you what, I've got no problem with anyone, whatever gender they are. I've got no problem. The second they start ramming it down people's throats, especially our children, I've got a frigging problem with that. And I know lots of you feel the same. No one should force their opinions onto others, especially try to tell you that there's more than two genders. These people are deranged. And when you watch these people argue, they turn into a dog. Really? You're an adult. You're a human being. You are legally responsible for your own actions. And you are barking like a dog. I concur, and I fundamentally believe you have a mental condition. Therefore, I'm not qualified to interact with you correctly. So why don't you piss off? Simple as that. This woke stuff has got to stop. And any of you guys who drink that Bud Light, really? That worked really well. There was a huge boycotting campaign and they lost a shitload of money. Good. This is the thing. We are more powerful than we all believe. Why? Because there are so many of us, 8 billion of us plus, and we earn money. What we do with our money is up to us. Where we spend it is up to us. Now, if you really want to see the world change for the better, really think about what you do with your cash. Do you want to fund companies and organizations and products and shops that promote this woke stuff? Do you know why some of these companies promote this woke stuff? Most of it is down to businesses need to borrow money. If there was no such thing as credit, I would say 80% of all businesses on this planet will go under within a week. That's how serious credit is, okay? Money issued with attached debt has to be repaid at interest. I'm sure you know how it works. You don't need me to tell you how it works. So, big corporations, banks, central banks especially, will lend companies money with a condition. What condition is that, I hear you ask? You need to make sure that a certain amount of your business or your finance with this loan that we're going to lend you has to go towards promoting the fact that woke and pride is a very good thing. Inclusiveness is a very good thing. So some of these companies like Wix, Bud Light, all of the rest of it, whether they want to push this woke shit or not, they need that money. What are you going to do? Like I'm saying, if you control money, you control the world. That's exactly what they're doing. So boycott the businesses. The businesses will have to think, we're going to need to borrow money from somewhere. We're going to have to borrow less. Maybe there's organizations that lend less money without these requirements, attachments, and expectations and conditions attached to them. That's the only way around it. But that's how it works. And I found out that on my own time in my own research. It's crazy. So it's not only that, it's what they're doing to our kids. What they're doing to our kids. Any of you guys and girls watching now are teachers, or of your parents, and you take your kids to school, okay? Let us know in the chat about how bad it's getting with this pride stuff with kids. Are your kids coming home from school and you're going to ask them, you know, how your day went, etc.? Are they saying things like, we had this man come in today dressed up like a lady and he was making us laugh, i.e. a drag queen? That's quite common. It's not just in America, it's happening here in Britain as well. So you guys and girls, y'all in the US of A, are you getting this stuff in your schools and colleges in America? We're getting it here in the UK. It's unbelievable. It's nuts. And yeah, they're allowing these things, I don't care if you're offended by that, tough, these things into our schools, trying to educate our children. It's absolutely wrong. 100% wrong. Drags and also the toilets. Do you feel happy that boys and girls toilets are going to be one toilet? But not only that, all ages can go in there. So staff and children all share the same toilets, different sexes, and in between sexes can all go in there. So your daughter's 7 years old and she puts her hand up in class. She wants to go to the toilet. She goes to the toilet. She goes into this one big toilet. After 1 minute, this guy, this drag queen man, walks in there dressed up, strikes up a conversation with her. We don't want to imagine the rest. It's happening. And all of this stuff is being brushed under the carpet. And it's really weird because I've tried talking about this on videos before, and that video actually got demonetized. So I got no ad revenue from that video at all. So it's really risky talking about this stuff because they don't really talk about this in the mainstream, but it's happening. Honestly, you guys watching this on the replay, look at the live chat right now. So if you're on your phone and it's got like comments, that little grey bar, slide it over, tap the screen, and you're going to watch the live chat replay. People here watching right now have heard stories from people that they know and trust and have experienced it themselves. Oh, how bad it is at schools with kids and this pride woke stuff. It's really bad. But not only that, inclusivity at work. Yeah. Oh, we have to employ a percentage of staff who are trans. Yeah. Crazy. It's crazy. But it's happening. But not only that, when people start getting really pissed off with all of this stuff that I've mentioned, we are going to see protests. And it's going to come to the point where it seems that protests aren't really changing anything. Then they will probably turn into riots. We are going to see civil unrest, mostly in urban, populated environments. It is coming down the pipe. Who remembers the Black Lives Matter bullshit that happened in America a few years ago? Who remembers that? Do you remember? Do you remember all of these teams of people leaving piles of bricks at bus stops? Who funds Black Lives Matter? Who's got their fingers in the pie? Who's heard of George Soros? That's just one guy. There's many other wealthy financiers involved in that Black Lives Matter. Who's heard of Extinction Rebellion? Who's heard of Hope Not Hate? All of these organizations are massively funded. Most of them are on the left. Democrats, Labour, Liberal Democrats. All of these Fabian societies are involved. with these organizations. They're heavily funded, and these people are worming and squirming their way through our entire education system, our schools, our colleges, and our universities. How many of you watching are under the age of 25? I'm finding it so hard to reach out to the younger generation, because let me tell you this, the under 25s have been so brainwashed at schools, colleges, and universities about the climate is all down to us. You try and have an argument with someone under the age of 25, they are going to firmly stand by the notion that human beings are directly contributing to how crazy our weather now is. They believe that in all their heart. Why? Because, like I said, these highly financed organizations have wormed their way through our education system and brainwashing our young. And it's down to us to unbrainwash them. Because if we don't, they're going to become the next movers and shakers of the WEF, the new global leaders. Yeah, it all starts from the younger generation. So when people are starting to realize all of this stuff, it's the MPs, the people who are pushing these notions through Parliament to make it laws, which basically erodes our freedoms in every single regard that we can understand. Everything. It's going to come a time where these politicians are going to be asking for security, and it's happened already. What was it? £31 million has been set aside from the public purse to make sure that all MPs are protected. They're all going to have personal security. Security details outside their residence, their houses, their flats, whatever it is. They're going to have security around the clock. They're probably going to have bodyguards. It all costs money. £31 million out of our money going to look after and protect these arseholes. They are. 99% of all members of Parliament are yes men and women arseholes. All of them have got their noses in a trough. They're all going to do as they're told, because all they want is to feather their own nest and do the best they can financially. It's all about that green, son. It's all about money. Yeah, that's why they can see all of this mass civil unrest, not just in the UK, around the world. India, Europe, UK, America, Canada, Australia, everywhere. This year, mark my words, it's going to kick off everywhere. These MPs are getting in there now. They know what's coming, and they're getting security now. Why do you think that is? If they weren't scared, there won't be no protests or riots. They won't need security. No, it's been passed. The money's coming. It's crazy. Wow. Sorry, I've just been checking into the chat, seeing how you guys were. Wow, bloody hell. Thank you, guys. Also, we're going to say hi to a friend who's been MIA that we haven't seen for a while. That picture. Margaret, hi. I'm so glad that you've been in touch. It's been awesome. Some of us have been speaking about how you are. I know when the cat's gone, it's been a bit hard, and then your shoulder. So I'm hoping that you're okay, and it's really good to see you back. And of course, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's really needed, actually, basically because of the shadow ban. So luckily, we seem to be getting some love, and it's really helping. So yes, awesome. Honestly, the stuff that you guys are leaving in the chat is amazing. Thank you to Andy, Alan, Carl. Carl, you're a star. Margaret, unbelievable. I can't thank you enough. And Nanda, thank you very much. And also Iron Fang Werewolf, Darren, Owen Gray, Steve Cox, John Baldwin, and of course our new member, Richard. Yay! Well done, Richard. Absolutely awesome. So yes, it's going to be one of those years. And yes, there is a storm and it's coming. How are you going to fare when this storm comes? Let me tell you one important piece of advice. Knowledge is power. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. If you arm yourself with facts and knowledge, you combine that with intuition, you're going to be okay. So you guys who have been in this community for a while, tell the new guys and girls, we got big love in this community. It's amazing. We help and share and look after each other. And like I say, you guys who share my videos, outstanding. I can't thank you enough. There's been people sharing it on Facebook groups. Someone, my partner informs me that someone has shared my farmers live stream when I went there, boots on the ground with my partner, and who shared it within their farming community on Facebook, which is amazing. So you guys, unfortunately, I don't do Facebook, so I can't share any of my videos there. But if any of you guys are on Facebook, I would really appreciate it if you just went underneath this video, shared the link into your groups or your communities there to try and get this message out there that there is a storm coming. We need to form communities. And this one online community here is really helping, because the fundamental thing which we are being made to believe is that we are all alone. We are not. This community is amazing. We're all together here. We've all got shoulders to cry on. We can help each other. We can educate each other. Don't forget, don't be Billy Big Bollocks. Don't get all ego crazy. Everyone knows what they know. Everyone is at different stages of learning. Okay? Don't worry about it. Don't take the piss. If they don't know much, it's fine. Don't forget. No, don't forget this. You was asleep once. Don't be so hard on others, okay? And especially, don't be so hard on yourself. So I'd like to thank everyone. We've got another member, Louise McKenna. Thank you very much for joining the crazy gang. That's awesome. That really does help, actually. So you guys are amazing. And all of you on PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-fi, those links are underneath the video. You guys have really helped as well. Like I say, this has turned out to be my job. So every penny really helps. Yeah, someone just said drink beer. There you go. So I'm going to chill out now, kick back, and enjoy what's left of my crazy Friday. There will be loads more videos coming next week, so stay tuned. Make sure, if you like this sort of stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you don't want to miss out on any videos, updates, or live streams, try to get that notification bell set to all notifications, because as soon as I do a live stream, you are going to be the first to know. If you don't click on that bell, the live stream will happen, and there's a high chance that you won't even see it live. You won't be able to contribute here in this very, very special live chat area. It's really, it is such a special place, because the people in here are amazing. All of you guys really contribute towards our community. It's not mine, it's ours, all of ours as a collective. We're here to help each other and learn. So you guys are awesome. Someone's put cult. This ain't no cult, Jack. That's funny. We got Beach Up Man, Darren, B, Diamond Blaze. Oh my God, UK Survival and Bushcraft Tips. Rachel Gregory, the artist. Hey, honey. We have got the Governor. All right, son. Brave New Us. I like that. Darren Westbury, Bloody Hell Hot Sauce, Bo, American guy living on the Isle of Wight, making generations old, amazing hot sauce. Go check out Bloody Hell Hot Sauce online and you'll be glad you did. It's all clean. There's no bullshit in there. Clean quality hot sauce, handmade by Bo himself. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Of course, we got Ben, 4x4 fella. Outstanding, sir. I look forward to catching up with you at the meet, sir. Incidentally, the prepper meet is absolutely on. There are tickets. Just go to YouTube, type Funky Prepper space Prepper Meet, MEET, and you'll see it. And yeah, hook up some tickets. There's loads of us going in June and September in BRECON in Wales, and it's all good in the hood. Incidentally, there is one thing I would like to leave with you. A friend of mine has started up a business, and we're trying to push this. What it is it's a barter and trade area in Wales in BRECON. Okay, no money changes hands. Everything is strictly bartered and swapped. Everything is freeze dried, high quality meat from quality butchers. Lots of freeze dried herbs, which will store for at least 30 years. There's so much choice and medicines that has all been created there, all freeze dried and dehydrated, packaged, etc. It's amazing. And there's the guy there. So there is a link to this awesome place called Prepper Trade UK. The link to this place on Facebook is underneath this video right now. So if you're interested to see what is on offer at this place, go and check it out. There is only 13 followers. Okay, so the earlier you guys get in there, the more choice and the quicker you're going to get stuff, because I'm reckoning the amount of people that's going to join after this video, these 13 followers is going to rock it. So go in there, check it out. Don't worry about money, swap stuff. Okay, it's the future. Swap stuff, barter stuff. Go in there, pick out what you want, put it on the table, and he will say to you, okay, what do you want to give me for that? Get your little rucksack off, take some things, and do a deal. Do a deal. Work it out. It's great. You don't need cash. Certainly don't use cards. All right. So it's really cool. Don't forget to check out that Facebook link about that Prepper Trade store. It's amazing. So yeah, everyone who's taken part in this community live stream, I really appreciate your time. Everyone who shared this video, you guys are godsends. I can't tell you how grateful I am. Everyone who's donated, it's nuts. I can't believe it myself. You guys really do help, and it's amazing. It really is very, very well received here. I can't begin to tell you how much it is. Not only that, all of the members. We've had, I think it was 7 that joined over the last few days, and we've had another 2 join tonight. So it's very, very good, because we are growing this community. We're getting bigger, we're getting stronger, we're getting these important messages out to help, educate, and save as many people as we can during these freaking bonkers times. And last but not least, the moderators. Without you guys, it's going to be a war zone out there. So we want somewhere safe and nice and respectful to communicate in our very important community. So the moderators, thumbs up to the moderators. And yep, like our friend Jay says, cheers, buddy. Hit the like button on your way out. It's really, really cool. And comment under the video, because it's ending real soon. Right, you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.